and shed more light on Christ revealed and altars.
Christ's life is not religion. It is God life. And it's an indestructible, God powerful life.
River Worship, Sundays at 7 a.m. with repeats the same day at 12:30 p.m. and Mondays 8 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Hello and thanks for joining me for the news update. Landowners issued 14-day notice Wednesday 7th April 2024. Rather, disgruntled landowners from the Angore PDL2 of Southeast Malandana in Hela Province have given Mineral Resources Development Corporation MRDC 14 days to pay out outstanding legal benefits and entitlements. The Wabiago tribe issued the 14-day notice to MRDC on 9th April 2024, claiming they have missed out on these benefits for over 30 years. The notice was announced by the Kurubu Warukape Wabiago Landowners Association over the weekend. Chairman Thomas Pulupe said the 14-day notice was part of a letter addressed to the Secretary for Petroleum and Energy and MRDC dated 6 April 2024. The MRDC and the Department of Petroleum and Energy confirmed the receipt of letter on 9 April 2024. They have yet to respond. Police officers in League Police Station are looking forward to receiving housing after being informed that the Right Coast District Development Authority is building a house to accommodate law enforcers in Ileg. The house will be built in Ileg Station in the Astrolabe Bay LLG. Member for Right Coast Sawang said since taking office, she has spent 3 million kina on law and order done. She has shifted her focus to providing vital resources to LLG in Dry Coast where people's lives are being made by lawlessness.
Before, now me plus start buy more assets for police. Me plus funding more police operation. Plant something or same so me plus start renovating more houses la side all policeman must live. Me plus building this la house lo like so at least policeman or police Mary Emma's got house. You platinum more before me plus I make a headline news lo head war again. And me at me fly go inside lo this la area. Me plan now start building more police house long up because no got police on top of Finistry Rangers.
Meantime, Erima village in the Astrolabe Bay LLG of Right Coast District, Midday Province, welcomed a new footbridge and a house for a community health worker. Member for Right Coast Cassie Sawang pledged to build another house for the health facility. She also said she would look into upgrading the clinic itself. Council President Gary Kulunga called on his people to be equally responsible in taking care of the CHW's house, and that includes making sure the CHW and the infrastructure are safe so that they can serve the sick.
Government, he can give him. You know, look at him, government, but Rosina give no Narbla have community in Narbla, look at something. Just like I know leader, people like look him. Must work with them with people.
Despite continuous rainfall and natural disasters, the 2024 Bundi Comba Festival in Midday Province was hailed a success. Starting on April 8th, the 3-day festival attracted over 4,000 people to Bongolongwe, Eminari and Upper Bundi. The festival celebrates the staple food of Comba, or red fruit called Pandanus conocius. 11 cultural groups added colour to the event, while 855 Combas were used and distributed. This included more than 400 Comba bamboos of 5 rare Comba dishes that were served with goat meat, pork and kaskas. The festival was not only about culture and food. The event was also used to conduct a major rural outreach clinic in partnership with the Simbu Provincial Health Authority, or SIFA. Over 324 participants were treated, while 6 were referred to the Simbu Provincial Hospital at Kundiawa. He quickly became known as the Bollard Man after bravely taking on the attacker during Saturday's deadly stabbing rampage at Bondi Junction. Today, the French national has been offered permanent residency after the Prime Minister declared he can stay in Australia for as long as he likes. 6 people are still in hospital, recovering from their stab wounds, and 6 others have now been discharged. Mourners were at a vigil last night to remember the 6 innocent lives lost.
Gathered in the heart of Sydney, brought together in prayer. The Governor of New South Wales among the congregation at St Andrew's Cathedral, honouring the 6 people killed in Saturday's attack. Outside the Bondi Junction shopping centre, what started as a few bunches of flowers now stretches down the mall. After running for their lives on Saturday, food retailers were allowed back inside today to collect their stock.
My toaster was still on, my oven was still on, there was milk out, the till was open, the iPads are out.
Today, one of Saturday's heroes has been recognised. French construction worker Damien Guerreau grabbed what he could to stop the attacker in his tracks.
Someone who's not a citizen of this country stood bravely at the top of those escalators and stopped this perpetrator.
For that, the Prime Minister says he deserves to be an Australian citizen.
I say this to Damien Guerreau, who is dealing with his visa applications, that you are welcome here, you are welcome to stay for as long as you like.
He embodies the Anzac spirit, and we would want people of that character in our country, so I think it's a good call by the PM.
Some of the victims' families came to Bondi Junction today to walk through the centre in private. It's now up to Westfield to determine when and how the shopping mall reopens to the public.
I think people come back in solidarity, but it's eerie in there.
An investigation continues into why Joel Cauchi committed such horrific violence.
I've made it also clear we may not ever get an answer.
A difficult reality for families who will be seeking just that.
The Australian Defence Force is actively engaged in ensuring a smooth and secure electoral process in the Solomon Islands as the country holds its elections on April 17, 2024. The ADF has deployed around 300 ADF personnel to oversee logistical operations and is regularly transporting essential supplies and personnel through Air Force C-130J, Hercules and C-17 Globemaster aircrafts. The Australian Federal Police and military personnel from New Zealand, Fiji and Papua New Guinea are also actively supporting the electoral process. The collaborative effort demonstrated regional cooperation and commitment to ensuring a democratic outcome and have resulted in valuable experiences and friendships for the personnel involved. Across Australia, authorities are being asked if more could be done to prevent mass knife attacks. Some jurisdictions are considering bolstering police powers to randomly stop and search people for weapons. There are also some calls for security guards to be better equipped.
How to disarm and control an aggressor.
Push this off and then get down onto the technique.
This group is brushing up on skills for their work keeping watch over public places.
From here, and go.
After Saturday's horrific attack in which a security guard was one of 6 killed, there's debate about whether they have enough protection and powers.
With the environment like a shopping centre, they've got nothing but their hands and feet.
It just made me want to have some more protection while I'm working. Capsicum spray and batons, and also maybe flexi cuffs as well.
Other knife crimes have rocked communities, but the Industry Association and police are cautioning against hasty change.
And events like this, which are thankfully isolated, we don't want to put in place a knee-jerk response.
I think it's very important that police deal with those sort of high-risk situations because they are best trained to do that.
Figures from the Australian Bureau of Statistics show the use of knives in crimes including murder, manslaughter and robbery has remained fairly steady at a national level over the past decade. But anecdotally, security guards say they're seeing more people carrying knives.
Knives are always going to be accessible. Offenders want to find knives nicer in homes.
In Queensland, police can use handheld metal detectors to search people in nightclub precincts and on public transport. Despite concerns it could erode civil liberties, the government is preparing to extend the laws to shopping centres.
In the last 12 months alone, over 500 weapons have been detected. That's 500 possible instances of an act of violence being avoided.
The New South Wales Premier hasn't ruled out stronger powers. The Northern Territory expanded wanding powers last year, and Western Australia is now considering the measures.
Well, it's certainly something we're looking.
Dozens of horse riders have spent a week retracing historic stockmen's routes across country Queensland. They drove cattle, slept under the stars and shared stories around the campfire, all while raising money for life-saving services in the bush.
Driving 450 head of cattle across the North Burnett. It's hard yakka for most, but not these three, who loved every minute.
Lots of fun.
30 people took part in the Eidsvold cattle drive, spending the week off-grid with nothing but their horse and a swag.
People that just want to have a look at different country and get out and get away from the traffic and madness of town, I guess.
After a wet start, the drovers pushed through, crossing multiple properties and rivers, along the same stock routes that cattle were taken for sale in decades past.
It's a bit like driving cattle like what they did back a few years ago.
The days are good. These are slightly different cattle than they would have had in the older days. These cattle are younger and they're heavier.
Arriving in Eidsvold, they were the talk of the town.
It's awesome, it's great, because we don't have a lot of events on. It's pretty incredible seeing so many cattle come through town. It's not something you see every day.
Not only are they rounding up cattle, but they're also rounding up donations, raising more than $150,000 for charity groups, including Lifelight and the Royal Flying Doctor Service. The event is set to return in 2026.
A lot of people having a lot of fun and all getting along well. Yeah, it's good.
And that ends our news update for today. Join us at 6 p.m. for our main bulletin. Bye.